Hi, this is Rob G and welcome to Savvy. Today I want to take a short bit here to talk about freelancer versus business owner. And I've heard this talk before on other channels, and I've heard this debated on what's the difference. Is there a difference? No, I don't think there's a difference. People asserting that there's all the difference in the world. And today I'm going to talk to you about my take on it. If you care, great, stick around. If not, just go to another video. But first of all, what is a freelancer? And I've even heard debates about defining what a freelancer is. So I'm going to give you my definition based on over 20 years, 25 years in the design industry, hiring freelancers, being a freelancer myself at one time. I'm going to tell you what my definition is. A freelancer is a hired gun to do a specific task for a certain amount of pay. Generally speaking, freelancers are not hired for their ideas. They're hired to execute somebody else's ideas. They're a pair of hands, and I'm not looking to offend freelancers because I'm not putting down freelancing. I just want to make sure that you understand the difference between being a freelancer and being a business owner. So when I was hiring freelancers, I knew the design that needed to be done, and I knew how long it would take, and I knew what to ask of the freelancer to have them finish this job for us. Now, in there, if you're a graphic designer, there is a little bit of latitude to be able to design and add your own styling to the project. And a good art director will let you do that. They'll hire you because of that. But generally speaking, they've pretty much mapped out the blueprint of the project and how it's going to look. And they really just want you to execute it. Because again, it's just going to come down to time for them. And they need to get something done quickly. So that's the caveat with freelancing. And when I started my company, as you know, I have a job during the day, and I need to be able to make sure that I make a clear distinction when I have local clients call me, that they understand what they're getting. And here's what I mean by that. If I was a freelancer and I looked at myself as a freelancer and I communicated that on my website and Facebook and wherever I might be marketing myself, it means that I'm looking for a company to hire my hands to execute their ideas. And that was a big difference for me, because I didn't want to be seen just as a pair of hands. At that level, that means you've become a commodity. And with so many talented designers out there, and I don't even feel I'm that good of a designer. I'm a good designer. I don't think I'm a great designer. That's another thing, know your strengths and be self-aware. But there's a very competitive nature to this industry. I'm in the tri-state area. I'm in the suburbs, about 20 minutes outside of New York City. So, hey, graphic designers, man, just swing your arms and you'll hit 15 of them. So I didn't want to be a commodity where I had to compete with a lot of designers who were much better than me for the same job, because I knew I would lose unless I lowered my rates. Well, that's not going to happen, because what I really want to is I don't want to just design. I want to make money. Okay, that's another difference between a freelancer and a business owner. Freelancers, yeah, they want to make money, but they're about the craft. And if they're freelancing, they're going to take what the rate is given to them by the employer. So when I was marketing myself, I needed to make sure that when people went to my website, companies went to my website, they knew they weren't getting a hired gun, that they were getting a company who could solve their business challenges with ideas and solutions for them. And that was the big distinction. You see, there is not much competition when it comes to providing solutions, because so few people will engage in that business. It's easier to be a maker of things than it is to creatively come up with ideas and solutions that will solve a problem that you have to discover that maybe the employer didn't even know they had. So you get paid more for your thinking as a company, as well as the making of things, which increases your value and takes you out of that commodity realm and puts you in the realm of, I'm offering a valuable solution to what every business has, and that's the problem of, take your pick. Is it a branding thing? You know, we do branding, so that encompasses probably a logo, definitely a website, a whole brand identity and guidelines. That's a bigger picture type of thing. And in there's ideas, solutions, and deliverables. So as a freelancer, you severely limit yourself to a certain set of skills and maybe even a certain industry. I know a freelancer, and he has been in the consumer packaging goods industry his entire life. And when I first met him, I asked him what was his website. I wanted to go to his website. And he said, this was 2016, so it was only 2 years ago. He said, I don't have a website. And it was silence because I didn't think I heard him right. I said, you don't have a website, or I don't understand. He goes, no, I don't have a website. I've just always been able to get business in consumer packaging goods just based on word of mouth, which is fantastic, by the way. But as he becomes more irrelevant because that industry is highly commoditized in terms of designers and is extremely competitive by its nature alone of being, consumer packaging goods. There's huge companies in that field, and it's cutthroat, man. So he can only offer design for print in consumer packaging. That's a scary place to be because you are so narrow that you can only take certain jobs from certain employers. Whereas if you're a company, of course you may have to broaden your skills. You definitely have to broaden your skills. So in doing so, the perspective is from an employer that you can offer a myriad of skills, all right, and a myriad of solutions. So you become much more valuable. Well, here's the other side of the coin. Well, what is a business owner then? Well, we've talked about it already. A business owner is hired to solve someone else's business challenges. That's what you do as a business owner. You're out there to solve challenges. You are hired for your ideas and solutions, as well as sometimes for the things you make and the deliverables and the things you provide in the form of a product or something that you deliver to them. So a business owner is vastly different in that regard because that makes all the difference. So which one are you? Ultimately, it's determined by your goal. I know plenty of freelance designers who struggle, and once they land a great gig and they're able to work there for several months at a time, sometimes a year or two because the project is quite large, they feel they're very fortunate. But the one thing that's always in the back of their mind that they're scared to death about is, well, how am I going to get the next client? Well, if you're a freelancer, the chances are you're a freelancer because it takes a lot of different skills to be a business owner. It's just not about designing. It takes business skills, financial skills, all right? People skills, operation skills, management skills, time prioritization skills. It takes many different skills in order to run a business, which I understand a lot of people think they're not cut out for that. I say it's BS because you can learn any skill that you need to learn depending on your goals. So it comes back to your goals and what do you ultimately want to do? What do you ultimately want in life? How do you want your life to be? At this channel, Savvy, we're all about designing the life on your terms, getting paid what you want, having flexibility of time, and the ability to command your own rates. That's what I'm doing here, and that's what we're talking about every time you tune in. That's exactly what the goal of this is. So if that sounds better to you as far as a goal where you want to be able to have flexibility of time and command your own rates, not have it imposed upon you, Start thinking along the lines of business owner instead of freelancer. Business owner, where ultimately everything's up to you, but that's the good news because you can always offer more skills, more services. You can tailor your business to a particular client and industry, which is fantastic. It's all up to you. And sometimes that's a double-edged sword where it's all up to you. You can't blame anybody else. As a business owner, it's all your fault when something goes wrong. So that's the differences. That's what I see in the difference between freelancer versus business owner. I want to hear from you. I want you to spike your comments down below because I want to know what you think about this. Maybe you've got a completely different perspective, and that's cool. I'm not forcing mine on anybody, but I want to hear what you think about this whole debate going on and how you see yourself being in one of those camps. And hit the subscribe button because I got content coming out every week talking about design and business and life on your own terms. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I hope you're getting value out of this. And as always, I'm Rob G. Remember, always be learning, always stay savvy. Thanks for watching.